you know. Anyhow, they are returning in many different bodies, different nations, and they're coming back to cleanse the earth for rebirth. They've been doing this for a while, but this is even more important now. You know how to listen with your eyes. You know how to see with your ears. You know what it takes to fly. You know what you need to be free. We will follow you where you want us to. You've a heart that's true. Your colors shine like a heart rainbow. The world is fed by many rivers. The world flows through many seas. The world grows through many changes. The world grows through you and me. We will follow you where you want us to. You've a heart that's true. Your colors shine like a heart rainbow. You know how to listen with your eyes. You know how to see with your ears. You know what it takes to fly. You know what you need to be free. You know who you are to find peace.
Yes. Thank you so much, Leslie. Everybody, let's show Leslie love like we do. Hands up or a reaction sign. Thank you, Leslie, for that wonderful blessing. You certainly pray through music. Yes, you do. We're going to be hearing more from Leslie, a couple of more pieces from her as the evening goes on. If you are just tuning in, welcome everyone. This is the Revolution of Love. This is the Sunday night service. This is a holy time. As I said a moment ago, it's Passover. It's also Palm Sunday. It's the Holy Festival coming up. And so we ground ourselves in this holiness. Yes, yes, we do. So before I go any further, I am going to light a candle. You are welcome to light a candle on your end if you have one, signifying that we are further coming into this time and into this space together. So lighting the candle. Yes. There we are. Now there will be a word of prayer, and I will pray in my own way, recognizing that some of you, many of you may pray in a very different way, and that's okay, because that's what the Revolution of Love is all about. We have a seat at this table. So let us go within now a little bit deeper. And let us take 3 deep breaths in together. We breathe in through the nostrils. And we breathe out through the mouth. And again, breathing in. And when you're ready, breathing out. And you can allow a smile to form on your lips if it feels good, if it feels right. And so breathing in and exhaling out when you're ready. Really feel your feet on the ground. And if you want to feel even further grounded, you can put your hands on your legs, on your thighs to signify groundedness. And if you would like to receive, you can put those palms up in a more receptive motion. And so we say, Holy One, we give thanks for this evening. And we realize that we come before you with maybe broken hearts and broken hands and maybe even feeling like broken bodies and spirits. So much is happening in our world, to us, to each other. And it seems like everywhere we turn, there is yet another act of violence, another shooting. And there are more names to say. In the name of justice, we lift up even more people that were taken from us in this last week in Colorado. And so we will not forget the justice and the positive peace and the revolution of love that we work for, God. We will not forget, and we will remain steadfast in so doing. We will also not forget to cling to you and to each other and to ourselves, our good selves, our soul, recognizing that this is a tripartite, you and each other and ourselves, that we must cling to, that we cannot shirk on this. God, we center you, love. We center you right now in this moment. And we call in the big ones, be it ancestors or however people here might frame it. We call it in the highest order tonight to be with us in this 23rd sermon of the Hope Cycle. Our work is never done. Oh, no, it's not. And we have a lot of work that we have to do. And so let us have passionate hearts as well as joyful hearts as we move forward together, recognizing that any lie that we have to go this alone is just that. It's a lie. That we get to be here together on a Sunday night, joining from all across the country. Thank you, God, for that. Thank you, God, for the awareness that we need this, that we need you, that we need these places to take respite and to take refuge. We cling to you. And we cling to one another. And we cling to that part of ourselves where no hurt, harm, or danger can ever come near. This place that is within us that is completely true and is unfettered. This Imago Day. We know that we are restored to not just sanity, but to a highest love. And this we claim tonight. This we move in tonight. A prayer of blessing and of healing upon each and every person if they are tuning in on Zoom or on the Facebook. And also a prayer of blessing for all our communities, our friends and family from various faith backgrounds, various traditions, wherever they might be, our absent companions, people that have blessed this ministry for so very long. Blessings and healings upon them as we continue to move forward tonight. And we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe and Aho. Aho. Yes. And so now I'm going to ask Taylor X to please read the path acknowledgement and the land acknowledgement.
Hello, everybody. This is Taylor X. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And right now I'd like to read the path acknowledgement. We take this time to acknowledge and honor the many paths and beliefs represented here. We honor all religions, philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, healing modalities, and spiritual perspectives. We honor the life experience and wisdom you have brought here today. We respect you and we welcome you into this brave space. We are emphatically state that disrespect, prejudice, discrimination of any kind has no place here. We empower one another through respect and strength to be true revolutionaries of love and justice. We see you, we hear you, we love you. If you have a path, faith tradition, belief system, please share it in the chat so we can get to know you better. Thank you. And now, I'd like to celebrate the land acknowledgement. At this time, we want to take a moment to reflect on the lands on which we reside. We are coming from many places and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they are still here, fighting for human rights, for lands, and their culture. It is important not only to honor the legacy and lives of the original caretakers of this land, but to continue to build our solidarity with Native peoples across the Americas and across the globe. I am in beautiful North Hollywood, and I'd like to acknowledge and honor the Chumash, the Tongva, the Fernandinho, and the Tataviam. Please take a moment to acknowledge the indigenous people of the lands where you are located in the chat. Thank you. And before I forget, I would really like to thank everyone for sharing the memes for the service. We are growing with lovely people from all across the country. Again, feel free to copy the memes and share them at will. Thank you.
Can we share them at our whim, Taylor X?
You may share them at a whim as you are the Rev.
Oh, and our leisure, our whim,
at your leisure,
our
yes.
will, our leisure. Yes, yes.
And whenever your schedule permits.
Yes, heretofore. And too. Okay,
Yes.
So we're going to keep going with this. I think we're going to go too long. Okay, thank you, Taylor X, everybody. Yes, thank you, Taylor X, for reading that. And I love seeing in the chat. And if you're on Facebook Live, please utilize the comment section to say what your path is, also the land that you are acknowledging. So again, I don't know if I said my name before. My name is Reverend Felicia Perez-Zader. My pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. I do have a word of blessing tonight, my friends, and that is community. Community. That's the word that I want to highlight and amplify. And I'll be lifting that word up more. You'll be hearing more about that when I give my talk on stage 7, which is love of the hope cycle, community. So welcome again. Thank you for choosing us, choosing the Revolution of Love. Remember that you're the ministry, you're the movement. We are creating this together. So a little bit about this, if you haven't ever been here before, or just as a good reminder to all of us that we are welcoming and affirming and of all identities, racial identities, as well as abilities and class and status and orientations. And that means also gender, if you're gender reflexive, if you're gender expansive. And of course, religions, as we just acknowledged with the path acknowledgement. And why does this matter? This matters because what we're doing here is we're creating a brave space. And since we're not specifically aligned with a faith tradition, that really just expands out what we can create and the positive change that we can bring forth, and that we have been bringing forth actually for a number of years, even with this service. It makes me think of the Margaret Mead quote, never doubt that a small group of citizens can affect change. I'm paraphrasing right now, but we start right here, right now with us on a Sunday night. So these services are designed for your healing, for your amplification, I want to say, of consciousness, and also for our transformation. We continue to stand with Black Lives Matter. We defend Black life. We continue to also dismantle any form of white supremacy, be it in the culture. And how are we doing that? Again, we do it through raising our awareness and raising our consciousness. And we recognize that these services aren't going to do all of it. So we have to continue our education outside of these Sunday night services. This is a lot. It is, isn't it? This is a lot of work, but we must do it. There is no choice but to change in a radically positive, transformational way. That's why we're here. That's what we get to do. Yes. So I think that's it for now. For now, that's it. Let's have our Revolution of Love blessing. We've just recently added a little tweak to this blessing. We used to say it only one time, and I think it's best to say it 3 times and really get into it. So we say, we see you, we hear you, and we love you. And we come off mute to do this, recognizing there's going to be all these different sounds, and that's fine, all these different voices, and that's actually really exciting. And we'll do it 3 times. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. We see you,
We
hear you,
love
we
you.
love you.
And again, we see you,
We see you.
we hear
We
you,
hear
We
you.
hear you.
we love
We
you.
love you.
We love you.
One last time, really big. We see you,
We see you.
hear you,
hear you.
Love
and we
We
love
love you.
you. You could sing it too. Hey, Leslie, that might be a chant that has to be created or something.
On it.
Yeah, on it. I like that. Wonderful. Okay, everyone. So thank you so much too. I every month I always like to make sure I thank our patrons on the Patreon account. And so those folks are Taylor X, Mark Willig, Michelle Dubroy, Jenny Lang, Reverend James Jeffley, Bob Sloys, oh goodness, and Gabriela Roscoe, as well as Gary Harding. So thank you for supporting this ministry. And in a moment, you're going to hear from Manny Figueroa, and he's going to tell you other ways that you can help support Revolution of Love through donations. But in the meantime, let's really sink into our mission statement and our vision statement. And Trevor and Melanie will be reading those for us this evening. Trevor.
Okay, thank you, Rev. My name is Trevor White. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico. My pronouns are he, him, his. The Revolution of Love Ministry of Movement Mission Statement. The Revolution of Love is an inclusive, diverse, global ministry and movement focusing on the inner work of self and the outer work of service through the teachings of nonviolence, spiritual psychology, and philosophy. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, transformation.
Actually, Trevor, forgive me. Sorry to interrupt, but Melanie, I think, has this one, yes?
Oh, I'm very sorry. Sorry about
No, don't worry. You were eager. I love it.
that.
Thank you. I love your energy. The Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement Vision Statement. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, transformation, and love. We embrace people where they are at religiously, spiritually, and welcome those who may be agnostic. At the Revolution of Love, we commit to our highest good. We transform through a heart and mind opening experience, and we claim our divine responsibility and honor to be change agents in the world. We do not enable, co-sign, or align with any system, structure, or policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. We do stand for positive peace. We work for transformative justice. We bring absolute compassion and radical love, and we believe in God with all its things. We are the visionaries and the dreamers, architects of peace, strategists creating a new world of what ought to be today. No matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, we welcome you. We love you. The time is now. This is the revolution.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much. Really important to, even if you've heard this, I mean, my goodness, I've heard it a whole bunch of times. Every single time, I feel like I learn something else from it. So it's good to really sink deeply into every word. I think of the practice of lectio divina, really chewing on every piece of a script, whether it's scripture or whether it's this vision statement. It's really good to sink our teeth into. Yes, yes. And now the grand finale. No, it's not the grand finale. It's Manny's announcements, which could be the grand finale, and then we could be done. How about that? Service over. No, it's not. I'm kidding.
Thanks, Rev, and everyone before. My name is Manny Figueroa. If you have not met me before, it's a pleasure being here. It's an honor. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am located in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am a services and support minister here at the Revolution of Love. And my word of blessing to you today is dedication. So we've got some announcements, I think. All right, let's see what we got here. Our Linktree is available for a one-stop shop to be informed of all the latest happenings here at the Revolution of Love. There you can sign up for Rev Felicia's midweek boost and service invitation. You can connect with Roll Facebook group and learn of ways to be of service and how you can get into action. By the way, this is the last chance to get Roll merchandise before the Wear It to Believe It campaign comes to a grinding halt. T-shirts, hoodies, and long sleeves are available when you visit our Linktree. There you can click on our campaign Wear It to Believe It. Wear our activism and Roll vision on your sleeve and close to your heart while you can. In addition to Sunday night services, Rev Felicia will be on Zoom with the Holy Spirit Retreat Center, leading discussions and teachings on topics such as forgiveness and anger from a spiritual and justice-based lens. These are the first and third Tuesday of the month from 7 to 8:30 Pacific time. And you can register for those in our Linktree as well. Our Linktree has so much fruit. So, how is the Revolution of Love a movement? By inviting you and I into action. In 2021, we will continue to present you with different events and actions that you can take part in. Even during a pandemic, for folks that may not be able to get out into the streets, you can do something as well. Firstly, you can educate yourself by checking out our abolition resources link in our Linktree. Remember, Revolution of Love is a visionary ministry and movement committed to justice. Between services, we educate ourselves on what may seem idealistic or utopian, that we bend the arc towards justice. That said, please go to blacklivesmatter.com and find a chapter near your city. White identified folks, also look up a local chapter of Surge showing up for racial justice. Surge is consistently putting out events, calls to action, and webinars. Also, please check out the works of CLUE, Clergy and Lady United for Economic Justice, at the .org site in our Linktree as well. Roll is continuing to work with organizations mobilizing for justice. Do you value and enjoy what you're receiving here at Roll? A healthy church means a healthy reciprocity flow. Time, energy, and currency all go into these services, so your donations and contributions keep the revolution moving. Go to our Linktree and donate through Venmo or PayPal. If you cannot contribute that way, spread the word. One way is through social media. We're live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook fam. So those of you there can also share the service to your pages and participate that way. Also, please invite people through your social networks. You know, it's a wonderful thing, or it can be, and we want to spread the word if it's possible. If it's something that resonates with you, why not share the good news, right? Additionally, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we've got one for Roll and Rev Felicia's personal. And yeah, thank you for joining us tonight and for listening to me. I know that was quite a lot. I'll be posting some links here in just a jiffy. But for now, I'm passing it back to Rev.
A jiffy. That was sort of a jiffy. And just a couple of things that I wanted to tack on is that on our Linktree, we have added David Weiss's, David is here, I believe, yes, with Margaret. We've added David Weiss's blog on 6 essays, I believe, on abolition. So we have added that on the Linktree. So please check that out. And it really is a going out of business sale for the Wear It to Believe It campaign. It's finito, folks. So if you want to get a shirt, you better do it now because they're gone. But we have a Roll logo, and those there are new t-shirts. There's going to be new swag, new merch coming very soon. So you should know that. So and Manny is working on that. And so, yeah, we're working on that. Okay, so that's that. And now I'm going to get to tell you some about Leslie D. Judd. So, and Leslie has blessed us, I think, one other time. Isn't that right, Leslie? One other time in December. Seems like a long time ago now. So much has happened. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She's an incredible composer, and she's on a long journey. I love this. She's on a long journey, a vision quest, which may never be completed in this lifetime. Nonetheless, she must write like she must breathe, being one of many. She's traveled with winds on wings of time, mostly leavings, seldom lighting upon solid ground. She's passed through many lives, yours and mine, holding each soul's memory near and dear, remaining close at heart and in mind. This soul is a synthesis of life and death and love, the whole, soundscapes and notes, always returning to music, the one comfort and catharsis which keeps her walking upon this earth. She's been writing music on paper since she was 12 and making up songs way before then. She's always been a composer supporting the greater cause. More often than not, she's been the organizer, right and left brain born. That's unusual. And what is important to her for the whole is that when stages are available, she believes is that they are to be shared. All of our voices must be heard. And so now with that, let us hear hers. Leslie.
Thank you. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I live in Phoenix, Arizona now. I've kind of migrated back home where I started. And in 1977, I read a book, an unfinished song by Joan Hara, the wife or the widow of Victor Hara. And there was something in one of the chapters that struck me. And I sat down and I wrote this piece called Remembering Victor Hara, which I would name later. And through the years, I thought about changing the lyrics, but every time I go to do that, it was raw in its form and it needs to remain raw. The story is that, well, the truth is that he was rounded up with a lot of other Chileans in 1973 by Pinochet's army in a stadium. They tortured him, broke his hands and fingers, and mocked him to play his guitar. And the government doesn't own his guitar. The government doesn't own his voice. So he sang a Chilean protest song. What he wrote that affected me was how hard it is to sing when I must sing of horror, horror which I am living, horror which I am dying, to see myself among so much and so many moments of infinity in which silence and screams are the end of my song. What I see, I have never seen. What I have felt and what I feel will give birth to the moment. And that just really, really struck me. So anyhow, here's, oh, justice. He was murdered in 1973, riddled by 40 bullets and thrown out into the streets. He did not get justice until 2018. We must get justice. That is the word. And listen that I pass on today. Justice cannot wait this long to come. We need to move forward. What would you do if you lost everything you owned? What would you do if someone took away your soul? How could you stand? How could you fall? How could you be all that you wanted to be? What would you say if someone took away your voice? What could you sing if they decided there'd be no more songs? What would you write in wisdom so those who've yet to be could live long, live long? How will they travel along? What could I hear if I listened to the silence? What would I hear if I listened to today? I'd hear that they'd never take away my soul. They'd never take away that voice. Not unless I take that from myself. Can only take things from myself.
Wow, Leslie. Everybody, please, offer some love, some reciprocity for what we're just so freely given from Leslie, and really receive this this healing, again, so freely bestowed upon us. And so that way we don't miss this moment that we are together listening, recognizing every pulse and every chord and every word and every beat of that piece of music, that piece. As Leslie often writes, Piece, and PEACE. And so let us really create something anew and something different on this Sunday night, this March 28th of 2021. Let us breathe and exhale. And let us step in to our power, a healthy power that is tempered. That means business. And recognizing that it is here where we come into truth. And we come into a place of the soul. And when we sink deeply into this place, no hurt, harm, or danger can come near us. And not only will there be no hurt, harm, or danger near us, but we can actually push off from the banks into a new world, into a new place of vision, into a new way and a new day. My friends, we have been in the Hope Cycle teaching for almost 6 months. Almost 6 months. This is the 23rd sermon, but we missed, I think, 1 or 2 Sundays. So that's why we're almost at exactly a half of a year journeying in this Hope Cycle teaching. And right now, recognize that which you have learned in this time. Let us reflect and let us just sit and think about the different places we have been with one another in this hope cycle. Recalling backwards now that we began in stage one, which is hope. And this stage was the dark night of the soul. And it took place in the desert, crawling on our hands and crawling on the desert floor on our knees. But see, something happened that was very miraculous, like a burning bush experience. And that was that we saw this candle that represents hope. We saw it at the end of the first stage, and that divine spark illuminated us. And what did it tell us? It told us that we were alive. And that was the only covenant and the only promise that was there before us, just that we are alive. And that was enough, my friends. And from this stage one of hope and this covenant of being alive, of breathing in and out, we had choice. We had choice whether we were going to move forward in the second stage. Every single stage, there is choice. And so we took another step, another crawl, I should say. And stage two, this is very big tonight. There's a lot here. Stage two was curiosity. And see, curiosity, it didn't mean that we suddenly were all better because we saw this hope and then we felt that we were alive. No, it was just an infinitesimal little lift up of our heads and beginning to ask the question, what if my life could change? And not just your life, not just my life, not just our life, but what if the world could change? That was the other question. What if my life could change? What if your life could change? And then the bigger question, what if our lives could change? What if this world could really change? What if there could be transformation? Just a little lift of the head in curiosity. And from this place now we chose again to go just a little bit further. And that was the third stage, wonder. And wonder, we lifted our head up and we began to look around in a wondrous way. And in this place of wonder, we realized, I believe that, yes, things will change. And we had to claim it. We had to claim, because everything will always change. Nothing will ever stay stagnant. But we had to actually claim, no, my life is going to change for the better. I am committed, or to use Manny's word, I am dedicated tonight to seeing to that my life and our lives will change for the better. And with that, we were able to stand up on our feet for the first time in a very long time. And we rose up on our feet and we began to walk. And then we began to run. And we ran ourselves all the way out of that desert. We left it and we saw the waterfall. And the waterfall was a place where we took respite and we took refuge, because boy, did we need it. We needed to swim in the holy water that was the divine feminine. We needed to really lay back and rest. Because why? Because nothing, as I said before a moment ago, nothing is ever going to stay the same. And we knew that at some point we were going to have to get our patooties out of that water and we were going to have to leave. And sure enough, that's what happened. We had to move forward into the jungle. So number 1, hope. Number 2 stage, curiosity. Number 3, wonder. And number 4, this jungle stage is exploration. And this, my friends, we went from to saying, I'm alive, we're alive, to saying, what if, to the 3rd stage of I believe, to the 4th stage saying, I'm honest. See, the jungle is a very, almost a frenetic stage, because we're going through the shrubbery and all of the foliage. And I even imagined a machete would be needed sometimes to not just push away the foliage and see what is there, to see within us, to see what parts of ourselves contain violence in any form. To also even have enough bravery to look around us and to really see what our society and our culture and the systems and all of that violence, to see it with a clear eye, to be very focused and to be honest. And so we continued with this, breaking these things down to pushing away, to cutting away this foliage in the jungle, and also to noticing the jungle floor. That at a certain point, there are blessings, there are blessings, and there are lessons that are awaiting us on this jungle floor, that there is also beauty. There is also beauty here, my friends. It's a big journey. It's a big, big journey. Again, we have choice. You don't have to move forward on any of this. We don't. But we will. We must. And so as we made our way through this jungle, there was a bellow. And this is when it gets into some mysticism. And we heard the voice of God, or maybe for some of you, it might be just the voice of love. You might be better suited to hearing it put that way. And that voice said, come, be with me. And it called us forward out of the jungle into this cave that we were sort of had some misgivings about, because caves are, let's face it, as Rob Gross, when he was coming up with the music for this, we even discussed it. There is this foreboding kind of ominous sense about caves. But we said yes, we made the choice, and we went into this cave. And we heaved all of that everything we'd learned, the hope and the curiosity and the wonder and the exploration. And in this cave of churn and burn, stage 5, we sat with God. We sat with love. And in this place of sitting, and to think of now calling in Leslie's song, we listened. And in that listening, we were able to hear the grief of 1,000 lifetimes. And maybe we raged and pushed back on that which we don't want to know about. And in that, we also were given a gift of praise. Because in the words of Martin Prechtel says, you cannot grieve without praising, and you cannot praise without grieving. And so a funny thing happened in this cave, my friends, is that we actually began to love it here. It became that come be with me was such a wonderful gift to us and to our souls. And so, yes, in the grief and in the praise and in the mysticism with the God, with the holy, we sat. And then we didn't want to go. Yeah, then we didn't want to leave. Yeah, but that's not the way life goes. Again, similar to the waterfall, but a little bit different energetically. We realize we have to continue to move forward. And so just as we were called in, we were called out. And stage 6 called us. And that stage 6 is the stage of believe. And let me tell you that cave, that statement in the cave, my friends, is I don't know. That is the stage of I don't know. And there's something about beautiful about being in the I don't know. It's very humbling. It's the humility. It washes over us. It's okay to not know. In fact, it's really important. But in the stage 6 of believe, we were invited to our knowing. And I really struggled with this one because there is so much we don't know. There is so much to be humble about. You have to be very careful and very mindful. But the knowing that I was talking about, my friends, this is the knowing that we're born with. This is the knowing that maybe when you were very small and very little, you just had a sense of things. You just knew things. It's beyond thoughts and words. It's beyond theory. And so I invited us all to never again doubt our knowing, ever. From this place, we met a way shower, a guide that said, do you believe? And it was a different kind of believe. It was, are you going to accept your knowing? That was the charge. And it was like, you do not pass go until you say an emphatic yes. And so once we committed, we were able to go forward. And then we realized, oh, I am at the bottom of the mountain. I'm actually feeling the fatigue from this, quite honestly. It's a lot to move. So let's do this together. Yeah, let's do it together, because the word tonight that I am remembering and that I'm lifting up is that this is about community. We cannot do this alone. We are not meant to do this alone. And that's where this gets really exciting in the hope cycle, is because, as I've told you before, every time I've taught it, it changes and it shifts. And this was the most changed it ever had been. And what I see now, my friends, is that as we are making this ascension, and that is not to say that we are better than anybody. It is not to say a top-down model. No, 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 no. It is to describe and talk about the commitment that it takes to move forward in this love that we have been reframing in a very radical and in a very bold way. And as I said, we can't do this alone. Imagine with me now, imagine this, please. We've imagined the desert and all that, and into the water, and from the jungle and water into the jungle, into the cave, and seeing this guide. And imagine us all. Yeah, this fills me. I hope it fills you. Imagine us all trekking up this mountain. And the reason we are trekking up this mountain and making this ascension that is an initiation is because where we seek to go is an absolutely new way of living, and a new way of being, and a new way of seeing a world where we all are safe, where we're not inflicted and imbued with this dis-ease of violence, of gun shootings almost every single day, of some form of oppression for folks in marginalized communities. And that's not even enough. Recognizing that a negative piece is simply the absence of those things. No, what we're seeing at the top of the mountain, at the mountaintop, is thriving, is effervescence, is not just brave spaces, but really, truly safe spaces, sustainable environments, and reciprocal relationships. This is where we are trekking. And this is why we need each other. We need each other as we are going up steadfastly, making our way. And if we see one of us slipping and beginning to subscribe or to go back to an old way, we can go, no, I got you. I got you. And we help each other along as we continue this trek, as we continue this struggle, as we continue this fight for justice and for this love reframed. Recalling that love, my friends, this isn't a passive force. This isn't a wimpy force. This isn't something antiquated. It's we just turn our cheeks and we bleed out and we just go overboard with compassion. No, that this love, it is compassion. It is all of those things of value and justice. And it is so much more because it is limitless. There is no beginning. There is no end. It is the Alpha and the Omega. It is. It is. It is. It is infinite. Love. It is this energy. It is this force. It is this power for change. Yes, and it is also containing strategy. You see why it's this is so much? Do you see? Do you see it? So we are making our way up this mountaintop, my friends. And tonight, you know, we are there. Because you know why? You know, here's the thing. In Hinduism, there's something called samadhi. And samadhi, you know, is this last stage. You know, that's enlightenment, right? It's this very noble thing that, you know, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to it like a second before we die. But I want to push back on that too. I want to push back on all of this, like reaching the mountaintop that is love, and all of these things, because otherwise it's just we don't try. We stop before we get there. We need to bring this down, like manna being ushered down from the heavens. See, that love is accessible to us. Yes. That love, it lifts us. It inspires us to create the change that God is calling us to do. And there in that love is honesty. And there in that love is courage. And there in that love is the demands of our souls. That's what I didn't tell you last time. I only said one of those, and that was honesty. That when we forget ourselves, that when we forget each other, we disconnect and we blot love out. So one of the best ways we can begin to come back and continue up that mountain and stay there is through connection. And yes, that does mean being honest about who we are, about who you are, about who I am, about who we are. And it also means something else. Number two, it means having courage. Courage. Think of that, the word courage coming from cor, the Latin, the heart. And number three, something that I'm not even sure how I mean this actually, but this hunger of the soul and the demands. We must demand. We can demand from God, whatever you call God. God, help us. God, what would you have us be? What would you have us do? Set our feet right. Set our vision higher. There are many ways, my friends, to continue on this trek up the mountain and to be there with each other at the mountaintop, not in a blissed out way and not in a checked out way, but in a way that is actually building community and building a new world that is a world that, again, is imbued with a positive peace, with the values that we believe in, like compassion and like justice, transformative justice, restorative justice. I see us there, my friends. I see us there because this isn't the end. Seventh stage, this isn't the end. This is only the beginning. It's only the beginning. And if and when, and this is really important right now, if and when we see one of our family, whether it's someone here or someone you know that doesn't come to these services, if and when you see them and they're in a dark night of the soul, they're in that desert, then we go to them. We go to them and we bring them some hope. And if you see someone and they're wavering in that curiosity and they're not really believing that their life can change, then we go to them. We do not lose sight of them. We bring them what they need. Maybe it's a God of their own understanding, and we serve in that way. We help them maybe reconnect. Or maybe it's making them laugh, bringing them some wonder. And if we see ourselves and those around us faltering in that honesty and that jungle experience, and not really taking a clear look at where we're at, then we hold ourselves accountable and we go there. And in that cave, if we need to reside and take a little bit of a break and take some time to grieve, we grieve together. We do not grieve alone. We do this in community. And we praise much the same. And so it goes. We do not lose sight of one another, ever. The risk of us being transparent and living from a place of truth and this place of love. We recall when we become, if we become afraid, we recall all that we have been through in our lives. All of you have so much life experience. All of you have so much wisdom. All of you have so many gifts. You really do. And so we call upon all of that right now. Let us just sit a moment and see if anything else needs to be spoken. As we complete this time, as I said, there is no end. This is only the beginning. And we get to forever learn and forever struggle in an exciting way, in a joyful way, about what love is. And expand with it and chew on it and bring it to each other and create with one another and be steadfast in community. Not just tonight, not just for an hour and a half at these services, week in, week out, but all through our lives. Let us commit. Let us commit to living from this place of real freedom and real power and real truth. Can we all commit to that? Can we all commit to stepping in, and I believe this is how I started tonight, to stepping into this place of healthy power, not distorted, healthy power which contains truth, which contains this place of the soul. This love, my friends, this is what awaits us. And if we need that help, like I said, if we see someone faltering, if that person is you, please let us know. This is the revolution of love, and this is the reciprocity that we get to experience and that we get to create. And I'm grateful for each and every single one of you. And let us journey forward together. That's it. That's it for now. And so let us say together, everyone say, and so it is. And so it is. So mote it be. Okay. Let us lift up prayers. I'm going to invite you right now to put prayer requests up in the chat. Whew. Okay. So if you have prayers, please do put those prayer requests in the chat and we will pray for you. I will get to pray for you in a moment. And let us breathe in, breathing in. And Holy One, giving thanks for all that is and availing ourselves to you right now, and a blessing upon each person that is here. May they receive exactly what they need to fully step in, to step into their truth, to step into their power, to step into a radical, bold love that awaits them. And if they already feel like they live there anyway, then to just amplify it even more. Even more. Let us never forget who we are to one another. Let us never forget that we have each other, God. Let us be honest. Let us be courageous. Let us hunger for you. Let us hunger for you. And we will make those demands of you, God. If we may be so bold, we will make those demands of you. And say, hey, where do we need to go? What do you need me to do? What do we need to do? What do we need to heal? How do we need to heal? We make those demands of you, God, and we know that we can. We know that we can. We know that we can bring it all to you. All of it, all of the grief, all of the praise. Yes. And so again, just a continued prayer of blessing upon each and every person here. Their dear hearts and their dear minds and their wonderful wisdom that they bestow upon us all, and their gifts and their talents that they bring. And may they be uplifted in that knowing of who they are and how much they are just for being, just for being. So I'm going to now turn my attention to the chat. Okay. So a prayer request on behalf of Robert Gross for Claire, who is fighting illness presently. And so we lift up Claire. Yes, we do, for healing. And on behalf of Judy, for her family, and also for healing as well. We lift up Judy, we lift you up. Yes, we do. And Manny, oh, thank you, Manny. Yes, a blessing that this journey does continue to be on our hearts and minds for all of us, truly for all of us. And on behalf of Trevor, a prayer request for those that are oppressed by the military-industrial complex and illegal wars. Absolutely. And so we lift up that prayer request, calling in a positive peace. Absolutely. And on behalf of Aaron, unspoken requests. Yes, we honor those. Unspoken requests for a friend. Amen, Aaron. And on behalf of Manny, a prayer for families of those who have had someone in transition. May they know comfort and find hope rather than being lost from their loss. Amen. And now on behalf of Leslie, a prayer for Chris T. May her creativity repair her physical ailments. Yes. Yes, may her creativity repair. I like that. Her physical ailments. And so we lift Chris up. And on behalf of David and Margaret, we lift up connections to friends from years past who have recently reached out. Absolutely. So lifting up those connections right now, knowing that they are happening and that they will get ever stronger. Amen. And on behalf of Evie, a friend of Evie's by the name of Renee, for health and for healing. Yes, health and healing being called in now on behalf of Renee. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And on behalf of Mylene always likes or puts in a prayer for the unhoused. And so we pray for our families and friends, our communities that are experiencing homelessness. And we continue to see them, we continue to hear them and love them and do what we need to do to fight for them so that they may have housing, so that they may be safe. Yes. And also just a prayer I'm lifting up now. Recently, actually a prayer on behalf of Carolyn. We were praying for Ted, and Ted made his transition this last week. And so prayers for Carolyn, as well as Ted's family and all of his friends as they are making their way through this time of loss. And may they remember him. May they exalt his memory truly, as he is in this liminal state right now. And prayers also for our absent companions, wherever they are. We know that God is with them. And so prayers for love and prayers for safekeeping for our family that is maybe not here, and also just our families around the globe that may be in a different faith tradition or spiritual community, or neither, just for our families, and recognizing, and we say this emphatically, not that the oneness, but actually calling in that we are connected and we are in this together. Yes. Yes, this isn't a whimsical prayer of, oh, unity, this or that. No, we recognize that we are connected in this. And so we recognize one another around the globe right now, and we lift this prayer up. Yes, we do. And so let's see, are there any more prayer requests? Okay, so let us close this time up of prayer, knowing that if there were any prayers that were not written, that healing always happens, and that it is happening now, that it is happening right now. And actually, just one more prayer. Prayers that we connect our fine minds with our bold hearts, with our hearts that are sometimes misshapen or hiding or behind walls. Let us recognize that there is power when we live from this place of fine connection between the heart and the mind, and that all things are truly possible through you, God. Yes, we lift up this prayer in a way that is both humble and also excited and joyful. And we say to you, God, hear our plea, and we love you. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe. Aho. And it is here where we reside, as we will listen to Leslie. Whenever you are ready, Leslie, please bless us again. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for those words. What stands out to me is that each one of us has a place in this universe. This world is what it is because of every one of us. When we step out of it, we change it. When we step into it, we change it, and we are forever changed.
Is anyone hearing Leslie, or is it just me? Oh, she might have, I wonder if she might have cut out. Let's see. Manny, do you have, yes, she is frozen. Okay. Well, Manny, I don't know if Manny's there. I know he had a video. Did you have a video?
Quite possibly. Give me one moment, okay?
Okay, we'll see if we can get this video that Leslie had sent for us. We would love that, but we might have to just take that as our blessing, our blessing out. Okay. Great, thank you. Wow. So I don't think Leslie is with us. I think she, unfortunately, her connection was lost, but let's really give her blessings and thank her and just be very grateful. What a beautiful gift and a way to end this Hope Cycle series, which I said is really, there's really no end. It's really only beginning. And we're going to have a whole new series starting next time, the Revolution of Love vision statement. So anything that did not really get fully fleshed out or elucidated, we'll start from there with each line of our vision statement, and we'll break it down. How about that? So my friends, let's come off of mute, say our goodbyes. Thank you again for joining us.